economist, a professor, former economy advisor to former President Olusegun Obasanjo, former NAPEP chief, whom, if I'm not mistaken, I think somebody has already mentioned it, if I'm not mistaken, introduced Keke NAPEP to the Nigerian public. We certainly thank Professor Parko for that singular achievement, which has created millions of jobs for the youth and Nigeria in general. We should also let him know that the Keke NAPEP have become a nuisance on our road and evil. Yes, we have learned to live with because of the services that it provides to millions of Nigerians, especially the common people. This statement now leads us to the lecture of the day, because we have when we have issues like this, you question why decisions were made to introduce Keke NAPEP into the country rather than building efficient, effective transportation system that combines rail, road, air, and in some area, water. These are some of the decisions that leaders in general do make sometimes with all good intentions, but it creates unintended consequences sometimes. This is why leadership is very critical in everything that we do in governance in the country. So despite the progress that we've made in the country, there is no doubt that the problems of today's Nigeria, would have been mitigated by good leadership, knowledgeable leadership, a leadership that is blind to ethnicity, but determined with a broad mind to help Nigeria make that transition from being a developing country to a developed country. It is possible. The desire for this to still happen is still there, and it's still possible. And we're going into a critical year, the year 2023. This gives us an opportunity to choose such a leader. And what that leader will do to transform our economy fortunes is what we're privileged to hear this morning from no other but a man who has advised presidents and governments. I would like to say this to Professor. Professor is like an Arsenal fan. No matter how bad we're performing in the country, no matter how bad the country is failing, he still remains loyal to Nigeria. So please, it deserves a round of applause for that. With that, I therefore invite Mr. Polka to deliver the lecture of today. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for the chairman for his opening speech. And Mr. Chairman, I really want to advise you, avoid Arsenal fans. Yes, because recently they have done very well in, restructuring that team such that you don't use other illustration any longer. And two, maybe when the guest speaker comes up, he will explain more. I suspect strongly that the NAPEP story was issue. I think it had other components